Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas using the source material behind them. Today, we're jumping into something huge: how AI could totally reshape banking for millions of people around the world. So let's start with a wild question that's actually not so wild anymore. What if your phone, the device you use every single day, could build you a financial identity? What if it could open doors that have always been locked shut?
In a country like Bangladesh, we're talking about millions of people who are, for all intents and purposes, financially invisible. They're completely outside the traditional banking system. And this isn't a small-scale issue. It's a massive roadblock to economic growth for a huge slice of the population. But, to really get this, we have to look past the giant numbers. Who are these people, the financially invisible? And what's really keeping them locked out?
Well, it's not just one group of people. We're talking about farmers way out in the countryside, small business owners trying to make a living in the market, families who just don't have the formal paperwork to open an account, and sometimes it's women up against cultural roadblocks, or really anyone who lives so far out that the nearest bank is a whole day's trip away. And look, being shut out like this, it's so much more than an inconvenience. It has real, life-altering consequences. Without credit, you can't get that loan to expand your shop or to pay for your kids' education. You can't even recover from a sudden illness. It's a trap, really. It keeps people stuck in this cycle of poverty and holds back the entire community. And here's the crucial thing to understand. This isn't some kind of personal failure. The system itself is the problem. The old school tools we use to measure financial trust, well, they just weren't built for people like this. So what's the big difference here? It all comes down to the approach. Traditional scoring looks backward. It's all about your past loans, your credit card history. If you don't have that history, poof, you're invisible. But AI scoring, it looks at the digital footprints you're already making, like paying your phone bill on time, to build a way more complete and honestly a way more fair picture of who you are financially.
Yeah, the old system is built on a type of data that in a cash-first economy, millions of people just don't have. It creates this impossible catch-22, right? You can't get credit without a credit history, but how are you supposed to build a credit history without getting credit in the first place? And on top of that, the whole system is kind of biased, favoring people in cities over those in rural areas. It's a recipe for inequality.
So, if the old keys don't fit the lock, what's the solution? Well, this is where AI steps onto the stage. It offers a totally new way to think about who is creditworthy. So what is this AI-powered credit scoring? Put simply, it's using smart computer programs to find patterns in data that isn't from a bank. It looks at things like how regularly you pay your bills or manage your mobile phone credit to figure out if you're reliable. It basically creates this rich financial story from the little digital clues you leave behind every day. And the way it works is just so powerful. First, it pulls in all this alternative data. Then, the AI gets to work finding these subtle connections that point to someone being financially responsible. And the result? A brand new score that gives lenders a much fairer way to look at people, turning everyday actions into real, life-changing opportunities. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but does it actually work in the real world? And the answer is a big yes. This isn't just a research project. It's already happening and changing lives all over the planet. Just take a look. In the US, a company called Zest AI is using thousands of data points to get super accurate scores. Over in China, Ant Financial looks at how people shop online. And across Africa, you have companies like Tala analyzing mobile phone data to give out small loans to people who've never, ever had access to credit. These guys are proving this model isn't just possible, it's working. But, and this is a huge but, this kind of power walks a very fine ethical line. This amazing new technology brings up some really tough questions that we absolutely have to get right. First up is the big one, data privacy. I mean, for any of this to work, people have to trust that their personal info is safe and being used the right way. That means getting their clear, informed permission is non-negotiable. Then you've got the AI itself. An algorithm is only as good as the data you train it on. So if that data is skewed or incomplete, the AI could end up just repeating the same old biases we're trying to escape. Getting the data right is everything. And finally, nobody wants to be judged by some mysterious black box, right? For people to trust this, there has to be some level of transparency. We need to know, generally, how these scores are made, and there needs to be a clear way to appeal a decision if it feels unfair. Okay, so with all those challenges in mind, let's bring it back to Bangladesh. How can the country navigate this tricky path to build a financial future that includes everyone? The truth is, no single group can do this alone. It's got to be a team effort. You need the NGOs on the ground building trust and teaching people how it works. You need the innovative tech startups building AI that's right for the local culture. And you absolutely need the government to create smart rules that protect people but still let this innovation grow.
And that really gets to the heart of it all. This quote says it perfectly. The endgame here isn't just about cool new technology or fancy financial tools. The whole point of this kind of innovation is to empower people, to fundamentally transform lives for the better.
So that leaves us with this one last big question. The technology to build a more inclusive financial world is here. Its potential is absolutely enormous, but the tools alone aren't enough. The real mission, building true financial equality for every single person, well, that's just getting started. And it's going to take a lot more than brilliant code. It's going to take our collective will and our wisdom.